I decided to challenge myself, and I'm gonna be working on a plant study kind of thing, and it's gonna be 50 paintings on this kind of different color paper. I decided to do 25 of them with this composition, so I'm gonna draw this same composition on 25 of them, but I'll do the plants different that are gonna be on them, and every time I'll do the mug different, and the way that I paint them will be a different vibe. So the goal is to just practice through repetition, and then the other 25 are gonna be like little botanical studies type things, also kind of plant stuff. I decided to just challenge myself with limitations again, and these are the only pattern type things that I want to use throughout the whole 25 pages that I have. So yeah, I'm going to use this as reference so that I can remember what is the vibe that I'm going for, and the shapes might change a little bit, but this is pretty much what I'm restricting myself to. I don't want to go too much outside of those. If anything, maybe just different sizes, but not too far away from what I have here. So I will spread those out throughout these 25, and 25 plus 25 will be 50, and I'm calling it Mi Jardin, which means my garden. And yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I really want to practice through repetition because I think it's really important, and doing something more than one time allows you to really figure out different ways to execute it, which means that I should be able to find my favorite way to do things, and I've been trying to figure that out with plants. I feel like I'm super stiff when it comes to that still, so I'm just working on loosening up and allowing myself to flow better. So I think some restriction and repetition is going to be exactly what I need for that, so that's what I'm doing. Hey there, voiceover Jennifer here. I film a lot of my process for this series, but I was very much in a state of flow, which made it pretty hard for me to talk while I worked, so here I am now. This series comes off as looking very simple, and in many ways it was, but for me it truly was a challenge. I have a really hard time letting go of my perfectionism even while creating, but I've always wanted to paint loosely, so this was a way for me to do just that. In the very beginning, I was trying to think about things like balance and color placement, making sure my shapes were the quote-unquote perfect shape. But the more I kept repeating these strokes and the more I painted similar shapes, I began to just flow. I was using my arm instead of my wrist to hold the brush, and just picking up paint and placing it where it felt right without any doubts. Trusting my intuition is very important to me, and a way for me to practice that is through my creative process. There's certain projects that require more planning, leaving less room for intuitive thinking. Those can still be fun, but there's just something about creating without expectations that I just love so much. There's already a lot expected from us in our daily lives, so it's easy to bring that kind of mindset into your creative process, but as someone who uses creativity as a healing tool, it has really helped to have moments without expectations, without a final look in mind. I feel my state of flow is the best when I do this because without expectations of the final outcome, I get to trust my decisions better. I leave almost zero room for self-doubt, and mainly all I'm thinking about is exploration. Before starting, I was a little intimidating by the number of paintings I was making with the same compositions, and I was worried I would get bored or run out of ways to create it differently. In the end, though, I was absolutely surprised by how many different variations I was able to come up with, and all while limiting myself in more ways than I have before. Repeating the same composition allowed me to explore different strokes, colors, placements, and textures. Each one is similar yet so different. I love how the different undertones also affected the paintings and moods. I didn't have any expectations while starting this, just a bit of doubt. I also just wanted to try something new, to limit myself and try something over and over. So I ended up learning so much through this, and honestly, even ended up letting go a little bit of my need for perfectionism in my work. I'll definitely be trying more of this in my practice, and if you can, you should too.